Being recorded. All right, so let's sit up on our blankets for just a moment. And so you might notice right here, just that sitting is not comfortable for you. And so what I would recommend is coming up on a cushion or something, and that can kind of help relieve a little bit of pressure in the hips. So find if that's what you need, or maybe a couple of blankets sometimes with your feet off of the blankets can be helpful for sitting. And let's just gently take a few breaths and kind of rock your torso. So just a little gentle movement forward and back. And I'm going to pull my breath just down low with each inhale, and then I'm going to release it just all the way out there. And I'm letting my tailbone kind of round underneath me, and then I'm letting it stretch back. A little gentle movement. And then I want to try finding myself sitting tall and then just lightly reaching my rib cage side to side. So I want you to see how the muscles, how your back is responding. Good. So you've got muscles that connect the head to the tailbone through the spine. And then you have muscles that connect the ribs to the hips. So we're just kind of trying to let them stretch. Good. And then let's make that circle. So we'll come a little forward, a little bit back. And then make these circles as slow as you need them to go. Just feeling yourself travel with your exhales. Move softly with your inhales. Good. And then find a place where you can let the spine just anchor. And you'll let the chin move down and up. So just notice again where you might be hiding some tension. The chin moves down and it moves up. Good. We'll try that a couple more times. And then I'm going to take my ear just towards each shoulder. And I can just lightly checking in with my neck. And then a chin over one shoulder, chin over the other shoulder. Good. And then one ear to one shoulder. So just feel, oh, you might, again, you'll notice where you might have something hung up in there. Good. Inhale. Then exhale, release, nice and soft. Good. And then let's take that forward. So you're just going to let the spine stretch forward, and you can let one shoulder move forward, one shoulder move back. Good. And then let's begin to roll your shoulders. And then let's take one arm and sweep it. I just want you to let it reach across your body. You can almost make like a little figure eight. Drawing, leading with the thumb, then leading with the pinky, and reverse the direction. So you're just feeling the shoulder beginning to wake up. Let's take the arm out, take the hand over onto the opposite ear. And again, if a little rocking action feels nice, go in there. And then you'll move the hand into your, or the head into your hand. Let the armpit stretch. Good. And then I'm going to let the hand come to the same side and just get a little stretch in the neck. And then we'll exhale, release, let that go. Let's try movement with the other side. So the arm pulled in. You're drawing just a little figure eights, kind of trying to free up your shoulder joint. Good. And then we'll let that travel around the other way. Good. Just carving space. And then let's go ahead and stretch the arm out and take the hand to the ear. It stretches over, but it feels nice just to rock. Good, then the hand's gonna move behind the head. The head moves into the hand, the armpit stretches. And up, and then the ear, hand to the ear, and you'll really feel the side of the neck stretch. Good, and then let's exhale just a couple more times, trying to kind of free up the neck and shoulder. Chin moves down and up. And then the chin's gonna move in and we'll roll the shoulders again together. Roll them back. And let the arms sort of move out. So as you feel the scapula gliding, a little bit more weighted there, circling the other way. Good. Thumbs rolling forward, back, forward, and back. And then opposite hand to elbow. Let's let the arms stretch across the body. Good. And again, just encountering where you might be tight. And exhaling into that release. Let's take your palms together, interlace the fingers, move the arms up. And now again, that little rock move side to side. Good. Now 2 hands behind the head, allowing the chest to open. And again, if it feels nice to let the torso keep rocking, releasing. Again, let that go. Keep going. Just side to side. And then you can kind of rock your weight all the way around in like a little circle. Again, just nice and slow. And then we're going to inhale, sweep, open the 2 arms out, take opposite hand to knee. So I'm taking my left hand to my right knee. I'm going to wrap and get a twist and opening at the head of both shoulders. And inhale, open the arms, find that stretch, moving the other way. Good, and then we'll inhale, take your 2 arms up, and then unfold your 2 legs. And then let's just come and sweep a little bit so you feel that rib cage moving out over the thighs. And again, just almost as if you were floating here or in water. Good. And then let's exhale. Sweep the torso now with the arms. You'll come out. Good. And out. And out. Excellent. And then let's let the arms come forward. Let the sternum rise up and then float back. So again, this whole bit of movement here, kind of finding freedom through the spine, through all your joints. And just continue that nice little rocking action. Go ahead. And then I'm going to inhale, sweep, take my arms up, and then twist behind me once again. Good. Feel the shoulder blades tuck onto the back as you twist. Inhale up through your center. Exhale, twisting once again. And inhale right back in. I'm going to tuck my left foot into my sitting bone and then reach my rib cage side to side. Again, it's just like a gentle, gentle sweep. And then we'll exhale, bring yourself over your extended leg. Nice long stretch here. We'll inhale, come up, reach now your torso away. Lift the chest and armpit. Stretch more deeply. And we'll inhale, come up. Bring your palms in, tip the weight back, and then switch. So once again, we'll let the arms float overhead. And the weight float either direction. And then we'll come and stretch out. Good. Feel a long line between the sitting bone and the heel. On the extended leg, we'll float up and reach away. And inhale, floating up. So now let's extend two legs out. Bring the palms together and start to keep the fingers connected. I've hooked to the thumbs. And then let the wrists begin to lower. So you're kind of reaching them still towards one another. Good. And then let's turn that down the other way. So now the palms are making contact. We'll breathe into that. Good. Notice as the shoulders start to climb up into the ears, and we'll let them come down. And then I'm going to let my fingers here come to the base of the palm once again, trying to kind of free up the wrist. And exhale, switching the direction there. And again, you can kind of check on your neck. So yeah, when we have a lot of tightness, tension in our hands, that can correspond to tightness and tension up in the neck and shoulders. So let's let the thumb now come to the center of the palm, and we'll stretch that over. And switching sides. Good. Take the wrists, sweep them into the sides of the rib cage, pull the elbows back. And then once again, feel a little stretch into the wrists. Fingertips can move forward, spine can move forward. And exhale, we can float back. Inhale, move the spine up, forward. Exhale, rock that back one more time. Good. So now I'll sweep the arms up. I'm going to tuck the left leg in again and stretch my right leg out. Come float over that side. And inhale, sitting up nice and tall. Let's just switch the position of the two legs. This is now the left leg extending. And we'll exhale, come reach forward. And again, another big breath allows us to lead up, and we'll take 10 toes, stretch and reach your spine out over the legs. And we'll inhale, come up once again. And exhale, bring the palms for a moment just underneath the shoulders, sitting nice and tall, extending the toes out. So long torso and long legs, Dandasana. Let's tip a little bit of that weight back, tuck that feet in, and bring your weight forward. So now I'm just gonna get we're gonna do a fist for wrist, knees under the hips, and then try a little cat cow. So you get a big stretch through your back. And inhale coming up. And exhale rising, arching the spine. Good. So now we're going to take that and create a little bit of an undulation through the back. So you'll let the hips drag, pull you back. Good. And letting the bones of the pelvis kind of move through a full circle. Good. And now take the hips side to side. Your head can travel toward your hips, each direction. Good. Now we'll press the tops of the feet down and come up through your knees. Take the hands for a moment just to the low back. And let your chest lift. So feel the front of the abdomen stretch. Good. And then I'm going to take my left hand back behind me, my right hand behind the head, and stretch. And we'll switch the position of the two arms, the two hands. And let the weight move back. Good. Exhale, release, taking the two arms out. Now I'll stretch my left leg and reach my ribs over to the right side. Good. Take a moment here and let the top arm just sweep up overhead and back. So again, trying to free the shoulder. Good. It might feel nice to now leave the hand there behind the head for a moment and then lift the leg. Giving that just a few breaths. Good. Some energy out of the heel. Let's exhale, set that down. Feel yourself float now towards the leg. Perhaps coming all the way over. And then we'll bring our hands back in front. And again, try a little cat-cow down and up with your spine. And then after your next round, let's go ahead, pull that leg up and in, set it down, and we'll come right back up. Good. This time, two hands behind the head. Allow the chest to open. Good. Exhale, release back up, and now I'll take my right leg out to the side, my arms up, and again, if it feels nice to continue to wring out the arms, circle in your wrists. Good. Now I'm going to stretch and reach my rib cage all the way away. Good. And let this top arm float down and up a few times. Pushing down with the bottom arm. And now the hand behind the head. And the leg can lift. And then we're going to set that side down. And exhale, reach towards the leg, floating the torso over. And then I'm just going to walk my hands right back into the center. And again, try a little cat-cow. Good. From here, exhale, lifting the leg, bend the knee, slide it in, and let's come onto the mat. So I'm gonna let my hands here move behind my thighs and gently lower myself down. And let's start, I'm gonna just with my right leg extend out, draw it back in, and extend my left leg out and draw it back in. So I want you to feel the front of the rib cage connecting. It drops in and lowers as each leg reaches out. So it's really about finding that connectivity. Good. So now we're going to let the right leg reach out, then come up and then down and then in. So now let the left leg, and you can even keep your hands here on the belly. I want you to notice when the rib cage starts moving up from the floor and the back starts to arch. Those are the things we want to avoid. You want to pull down with the ribs and then let the leg float up. Let's go ahead and hold the right leg in the air and allow it to circle. Again, these don't need to be big circles, ambitious circles. We're just trying to find that connection. Good. And then if you've circled one way, circle the other way. Then we'll let the opposite leg come up in the air, circle just a few times. And again, feeling front of the rib cage, the abdominal wall connected, circling the other way. Good. And then we'll let the two legs just extend into space and lower together. So you let them extend, and again, the belly pulls strong. You can let them kind of lightly float out, up, down. Good. And then let's pause. The knees can stay soft overhead. So you begin to just lightly let the thighs circle and circle in the opposite direction. Good. So stay as soft as you need to stay released in the hips. These don't need to be big, hard movements. Good. Let's go ahead and pause. Take the arms out and let the knees float over to the right. Take the gaze to the left. And then scooping into the belly, let the knees travel to the left and your gaze to the right. Good. Let's leave the left foot on the floor and then open the right. So we'll let the feet be a little wider than the mat. And then you're going to exhale, stretch the knees over to the right side. Inhale, move through the center, and then exhale, stretch the knees over. So you really get into that hip and psoas area. You can push through the feet to get a deeper stretch in the hips. Just trying to release the discomfort we leave kind of hidden there in the front of the hips. Good. And then let's just walk the feet so they're sitting bone apart. And you can kind of roll ball to heel, ball to heel, ball to heel. Feel that connection deep into your feet. Exhale, the arms float into your sides, and we'll let the pelvis scoop up from the floor and then slowly articulate down. So I want you to feel the undulation of the spine as the bones peel up and then undulating through the spine, each vertebra as it comes to rest on the floor. We'll push down with the feet, lift, lower with control, really comfortably here. Let's try a few more. So that push down allows the pelvis to float up, lets the hip bones stretch a little more deeply. And you can think about pressing the arm bones and the feet down. And exhale. Inhale and exhale, allowing that to reach up. And coming down nice and slow. Good. Let's let the knees come back over the chest, and then this time you're going to bicycle the legs, one and then the other. So feel one leg reaching out as the other leg is pulling back. A little energetic opposition, finding that resistance built into your movement. Change the direction. And then just staying as soft as you'd like with the knees. Go ahead, let the tailbone rise up and then set it down gently. So we'll let the navel pull in, the tailbone float from the floor, and we'll set it all down gently. Again, softness through the knees, down and up. Good. We're going to go back to placing your feet lightly, lightly on the floor. This time tap right, left, right, left, right, left. Feel that connection into a strong belly. Pushing your feet down, lifting the pelvis up. We'll pull the palms together underneath your torso. Walk the shoulder blades in. And breathe here. So maybe the palms are connected. Good. And maybe you want to get a little bit deeper into the shoulder blades. Let's now open the arms, let the knees move wide, and let the pelvis just get a little stretch. So the soles of the feet are together, the knees are moving apart. And now a big hug, hug those bones up, let the head lift up from the floor, take your gaze to the belly button. We're now going to take your hands just to your right leg, let the left foot float down, and let's try to work a whole stretch from the heel to the sitting bone. So if you can kind of trace that anatomy here with your hand. So feel your sits bone, move your sitting bone down towards the opposite sit bone. So our opposite heel, so you don't feel that hip bone hiking up, but pulling in rather. Good. And just a light stretch. I've got one hand at the sits bone, one hand at my heel, but this hand could be anywhere on you. We're just going to let that stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. So switch. Maybe you'll take now your right hand to the heel and let the two legs open away from each other. Good. Now let's let the two legs cross the midline just right where they are. Good. And again, feel that sits bone to heel reach. So the whole leg and the IT band. It's painful. Or I shouldn't say painful. It's intense, let's say. And then from here, I'm just going to fold my arms around this leg. Oh, and lightly, lightly stretch the hip. Now the ankle will move to the opposite thigh. I'm going to hug in, rock, rock, rock. And then let my torso just steady here for a moment so I get a big, deep stretch through the hips. I'll now move my two knees together, take my hands to my heels, and then rock, rock, rock. Excellent. Let's unfold the legs and then lightly just let them move in the air. So maybe they cross, maybe they circle, maybe they bicycle, but just the legs float like they were, in seawater, just weightless legs. And then we're going to fold at the knees, hug your head up, scoop your belly in. And then we're going to exhale, take your right foot to the floor, and then you're going to begin to work on straightening the left leg. So I'm going to start my just like left hand kind of moving towards my heel, the right hand to my sitting bone. Try not to hike the hip up to the side, but keep the bones of the pelvis balanced, your hip bones balanced. And stretch, stretch long into that hamstring. And now we'll take the leg, let it open away. So I've got it in the other hand here, and this knee joint's moving away. And I'm going to take opposite hand to heel once again. And let the leg come across the body as much as it wants to. Your bottom knee can do the same thing. Just feeling that the IT band and outer leg is stretching here. Good, without the back curling up. And now we're going to just bend at the knee and let this hip kind of rock across the body. So now pull the opposite leg in and wrap your hands and just again rock, rock, rock. So encouraging some release here. Good. And then from here, we're just going to slide the two knees a little closer together and maybe take your hands to the heels. And again, just rock, rock, rock. Stay light with your movement. If you want to work on extending your knees, drawing the tailbone down, you can. And then when you feel ready, unfolding the two legs. And again, now let the arms, the legs, everything just kind of sweep through space. And then soles of the feet will pull together. We're going to roll. This is me rolling to my right side. So now my left leg is in the air. I'm going to press my left foot into my bottom foot, my right foot, and let this hip work inner and outer rotation. Good. So now from here, if it feels comfortable, work just the inward rotation. Letting that top foot lift in the air as the knees squeeze together. Good. And then I want you to try lifting. You can take the hand down in front of you and lift this whole leg down and up a few times. Just finding a little strength in the hip, a little mobility. You can circle with the knee bent. Steady with the bottom leg, circle the other way. Gentle, gentle, gentle. And then from here, let's go ahead, let the leg move out and up, down and in. Let the leg move out, up and down and in. Good. Floating the femur. Good. And then from here, let's go ahead, pause with the knee bent. Take your hand to the ankle and really let the hip stretch behind you. And then I'm going to hug the knee up towards me and just let the hips release, relax. Then I'll take my hand to the foot, let the legs stretch in the air. Good, then I'll bend this knee just one more time. Let the leg come down in front of me. And then exhale. Let this top arm circle your back arm circle, freeing up your chest. And then allowing it to travel the other way. And then stretch all the way back behind you. And then when you feel ready, we'll go ahead and just lightly bring ourselves back up. And we'll switch sides and try those stretches, try those movements on the other side. Yeah. So you can begin just letting your knees be bent and take your top knee down and up a few times. So we're feeling the inner and outer uh, muscles here working, the external rotators in the hip. Good. Take that a time or two more. And then when you feel ready, go ahead, pull that knee in, let the top foot lift. Good. So again, you might encounter just as we break down these little movements in the joint where there's stiffness. And it's just like applying a little soft movement to help release. Good. And then let's try lifting this whole leg down and up just a few times. Good. And then we'll hold the leg and allow it to circle. And we'll let it circle the other way. Good. Really slow. Now we'll let the leg stretch out and up and down and in. So again, carving space with that really slow movement. Good. Again, feeling the inner thigh, outer hip. Just coming awake here. Good. And then let's just pause with the knee bent. Take a hand here to your ankle and let the legs stretch behind you, releasing into the hip socket. Feeling the front of the hip bone, so all those muscles from the hip to the kneecap should be elongating. Good. And then we're going to take this hand here, just let it rest. And try to move the tailbone down. So instead of the torso curling, we're again elongating your torso here. And then I'm going to take my hand here for a moment just to my foot, maybe stretch this leg. Use another big exhale. And then let's let that leg come and bend forward. And you'll begin a little circle with the arm. Good. Feel that bone just glide. I'm gonna let those circles travel the other way. And then I'm gonna pause, letting the arms stretch back behind me. So feeling some openness in the hip. Let's take one more big exhale here. And then we're going to push and come through an all fours position. So now let the hips move a little forward. Catch the hips and move them back. So again, a little undulation through the spine. Scoop up through your center and move the weight of the body back once again. Try that. Good. And then as we undulate here, let's take one more round. And then exhale, let the bones of the back float into the floor, or your belly float into the floor as we come to rest. And you're going to let the legs just kick once again like you were in water. So I want you to catch before the toes come all the way down to the floor, right before they come down. That's when you change. And it's again to feel that connection into the hamstring. Good. And feel the connection into the glutes. Then we're going to pause, let the knees just rock a little bit side to side. Let that rock your back gently, side to side. Now let's try to walk the soles of the feet pull in and towards each other as the kneecaps move out, and let the shins move down towards the floor. So this might feel like a little stretch in the front of the hips. And then we'll exhale and draw the legs right back in. Maybe point and flex your feet here a couple times. And then extend the two legs out. Press the palms into the floor and lift your sternum bone up. Breathe into that lift. Good. Let's exhale, bend at the knees. Let the head come back down to the floor. This time, walk your hands just a few inches closer to your shoulders. And we'll take that lift again. Maybe it's a little bit deeper through the back. And then we'll exhale, release, let that come down. This time we're going to lift and take another big breath here, pressing the 10 toes in, the sternum bone up. And then this time let's pull your elbows just underneath your shoulders, and we're going to scoop your hip bones from the floor. Take a big breath. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, take another big breath, looking up. And then exhale, scoop and lift the hips. Setting that down, big breath, looking up. And exhale, scoop the hips. And you can walk the knees in underneath you. Inhale, coming up. This time let the head come down to the floor. And we'll try to really open the chest. by walking your fingertips just a little bit further out. Now from here, I'm going to exhale, take my left hand to the outside of my leg, come stretch over. So hopefully feeling a big stretch in between the shoulder blades. And then I'll push through that top hand. The hand reach underneath me. Once again, a big stretch. Reaching the weight of the body back. 2 hands, and now we'll exhale, lift and find a down dog. You can pedal the feet here a little bit, so one heel really reaches away, and that's going to deeply allow you to stretch the calf, and the other pulls back. And then you can let one hip kind of drop in as you stretch, so it kind of comes across you here. Good. And then we'll exhale, just walk some weight back towards your feet. And when you get your weight in the feet, begin to lightly shake the head no and nod the head yes. And then we'll slowly just bring the weight of the body into the feet. We'll come to standing. Oh, goodness. We won't do too much standing. So from here, I'm just going to take my arms all the way up and take a big step forward with my right foot. Take the hands behind my head and get a big stretch. Good, and then from there, I'm just going to sweep my arms down towards that leg. Stretch over it. Push once again through my right front foot and then step it in. I'll try that on the other side. So I'm just going to take a big step forward with my left foot. Heel ball toe, take my arms up overhead. And from there, extend both legs, reach my hips back and come forward to stretch. And then we're going to push into our feet, really ground, lift. And exhale, step the weight back. Good, bring your palms together and reach your sternum forward. The head lowers, and you'll feel a big stretch through the arms. After your next exhale, go ahead, hug the arms, and you're folding. So the arms have hugged around the backs of the legs. And then I'm going to inhale, look up, and bend through my knees and just let myself take a little pivot. And from here, I'm just going to lightly let my body float back down towards the floor. So if there's any little movements you'd like to take before we take some breaths together, if it's a circle through the legs. Maybe let the soles of the feet come together, your knees open. Rest your hands on the abdomen. Let the breath move low. Let the breath be long. and wide and full. And then when you feel ready, just begin to lightly wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe circle the ankles, circle your wrists, rock your hips side to side. Maybe hug the knees over the chest. Roll to one side and press up. And we'll come sit in your palms together. We'll bow the head, close the eyes. Your practice is a gift. Thank you oh so much and enjoy the rest of your evening. Namaste. Yeah.